Okay, Tom and Marcia, we talked on the phone the other day. I talked with you, Tom, and I've got basically what you all were looking for, or we had talked a little bit about why you sent this in, but kind of just refresh my memory. When you all fill this out and send it in, what was it we can help you with, or what are your biggest concerns?
Well, what we just want some kind of insurance in case something happens to me. It pays the loan off, so she can stay here and not have to worry about the loan.
Okay. Is there a concern the other way? Like if she's no longer here? Or is it pretty much just for you?
We can't afford probably. I don't know. It'd be nice if we could cover both of us, but that sounds kind of expensive.
Okay. Well, let's do this. What I like to do is go through what we call a fire drill. Because the first and foremost, I want to make sure that you even need this. Okay, so we're going to go through some quick financial inventory. We're going to see what's in place. And this is a good review for the both of you. In case something ever does happen, you want to make sure you know everything that's coming to you. Okay, so we're going to go through that. We're going to go through a couple financial questions, and then we're going to dig into health a little bit. Because as a field underwriter, I know the programs of the insurance companies, and it's my job to kind of go to bat for you all and put a program together that does exactly what you need it to do. More importantly, it fits the budget, and probably even most importantly, you're actually able to qualify for it. So I know the programs pretty well. I'll probably reach out to somebody here in a few minutes just to double check myself and make sure we're doing things right. And I've got a good idea just with talking with you on the phone where we might head. But let's complete this fire drill real quick just to make sure we're going down the right road. And Tom, I'm going to start with you. If you're no longer here, hit by a bus, whatever it was a week ago, you're gone. You're just not here. I want to know what Marcia has in place. And do you know everything that you are going to get? Or have you guys talked about that?
We have some, but I'm not sure I know about everything.
Okay, let's just list it all right now. As far as any life insurance, is there any old life insurance policies that you have that you're paying for?
I've got some at work.
Okay.
I think they cover me for 2 or 3 times my salary or something like that.
What's your salary?
It's like $50,000.
When do you plan on retiring?
Oh, I'm 65.
And you're 57 right now. Don't make me do math. You are
55 right now.
55. See, I can't do math. Okay, so you got 10 years left
10 years.
on that insurance and 10 years left at your job. Do you have any private policies that you pay for or anything?
I had a policy that my mom and dad gave me when I was little. It's just a $10,000 burial thing.
That's good forever. And you don't have to pay on it.
It's all paid up.
Okay. As far as your work insurance, do you get to take that with you when you retire?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
Nobody ever said it.
Now, what else is she going to get if you're not here? Do you have any IRAs or 401ks laying around or anything that she'll get to take over?
I have a little bit of it's a 401k, yeah. But it's not very much. We had to pull some out to actually buy the house.
How much is in it, roughly?
30,000.
Okay. What about old IRAs from previous jobs? Anything like that?
That would
Like
be
a 457 or 403?
No,
This is all of it?
Right.
Okay. Now, when you retire, you're going to get a pension? Okay.
Social Security.
Okay. And you're going to wait till you're 65. You're not going to take it early?
Right.
Okay. Easy enough. And how about for you? Any life insurance or anything?
Just through my job, 2.5 times my salary.
What's your salary?
43,000.
Okay, so you're a little over 120 roughly, or I'm sorry, about 110 roughly. And when do you plan on retiring?
When I'm 65.
How old are you right now? I have your date of birth here, but as we proved, my math skills are not the best. Okay, so you got another 12 years.
Correct.
Any life insurance outside of work that you own that you pay for privately?
No, that's all.
Okay, what about your current 401k? Are you contributing right now to a 401k?
Yes, I am.
What's your rough balance?
That's my rough balance.
It's like 60,000, I think. It's not much.
Now, outside of that, any investment accounts, mutual funds, IRAs, or anything that he'll get?
Not that I know.
Don't have any money stashed away. All right.
I have some buried in the backyard, but
No,
Not
that's
that I know
close
about.
enough. Okay. So you've each got your 401ks, you're going to get Social Security as well. Any pensions or anything you're going to get from your work when you retire?
Just
No
my
pension.
401k.
How's it been doing for you?
Well, I took a hit back in 2008, but
Are you
it's
back up though?
Pretty much.
pretty much,
You're making money now?
yes.
And you have the mortgage. It's $210,000 mortgage with Wells Fargo. Do you have any side mortgages or any down payment mortgages? That's the only one. And you escrow your taxes and insurance. You put it all in one payment. What's your total payment?
Well, it's like 1,500.
Okay. Any other debt you all are concerned about, like cars or second properties or anything?
Well, we owe for both the cars.
Okay. What are your plans when one of you passes? Are you going to sell one of them, keep the other?
We'd sell one of them.
Okay. So you'd want your car paid off. What's your balance?
About 10,000.
Okay. And as far as the financial picture, that's pretty much it. That gives me a lot to go off of. So we'll come back to that in a second. I want to go over health real quick. The biggest concerns are if something happens to either one of you. Is there a concern if you're not working that payments are made, or do you guys pretty much already have that covered through your work? Like if you're off work for 9 months because you broke your back.
It'd be tough for both of us. If one of us wasn't working, it'd be tough for us to make that payment.
Okay.
Either one of us.
Okay. So let's start with you, Tom, on health. Have you been in the hospital the last 7 years for anything at all?
I had my appendix out about 4 or 5 years ago.
No complications or anything? They just remove it and send you home the next day. Are you taking any medicines for high blood pressure or diabetes?
Oh, I take a sugar pill and a little bit of high blood pressure both.
Do you take Let's go for the diabetes first. Do you take metformin, Januvia, metformin?
Metformin.
Are you taking any other medicines other than metformin? Do you know what you
Well, for the high blood pressure, yeah.
I need for diabetes?
No.
Just metformin. Okay. And how many pills per day do you take of metformin? Do you know the size?
I think it's 500 milligrams.
And you said blood pressure?
Yep.
What's the medicine you're on for?
It's a lisinopril
Is it the combo pill, like the
Yeah.
HTCZ?
and right.
Okay. As far as dosage size, how many do you take a day first?
One.
And that's the only medicine you take for blood pressure? And do you know the milligram size?
I think it's 10.
Any other prescriptions that you've been on in the last 7 years? When you have your appendix out, they probably give you a painkiller, I assume.
Imagine. I don't remember.
Marcia, how about you? Any medicines that you're taking? You're pretty healthy.
I'm pretty healthy.
No medicines at all? Any hospital trips last 7 years?
No.
You make this easy. And neither one of you have smoked in the last 2 years?
No.
Did you ever smoke?
No.
Okay, good. No trouble, no felonies. You haven't killed anybody, right?
Not yet.
Show on the record. 1 and 2 is okay. And as far as term, how long did you do your mortgage?
It's 30 years.
Okay, and it's fixed. They get you a good rate at Wells Fargo.
Pretty good.
How long have you lived here?
Was it a year and a half?
Where'd you move from?
We moved down here from Ohio
Okay, how you like it so far?
so far.
Good.
Like the climate.
What brought you down here?
They're going to put a landfill in near us.
That's a good reason to move. Now, kids, anything? Do they live nearby? Do you have kids?
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 kids.
Do they live close?
One lives within an hour. The other's
Okay.
in Tennessee.
I've got pretty much everything I need, and I can definitely see the need. I see where you guys have a gap there between what you currently have plus your assets versus your debt. So I can definitely see the concern.
So what's it going to cost?
Well, I don't know yet. I want to make sure I'm going down the right path. What I'm going to do, I've got a senior underwriter that I want to call real quick. Okay, so give me a couple minutes. His name's Mike. Let me talk with him. If I can't get a hold of him, I've got a couple other people that I can call. I think I've got a good idea to which company we can go through. It might be Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, one of those companies. But I just want to make sure before we get into all the quotes, I want to make sure that we're heading down the right path. So let me get him on the phone real quick, okay? And I want to run this by him. Okay, now that you've seen how to set up the phone call, there's a couple things we want to cover with you on how to make this as successful as possible. It is important before you go in the home, you do send the group text that you are walking into a home, what the client's ages are, any pertinent health information you got when you set the appointment, and the mortgage amount right before you go in. One of us is going to respond to that. One of the uplines in the group text is going to respond. That is the person that you want to call first when you're calling in the home. So for example, if you text Tom and you text me and I say, okay, I'm going to be the one that you want to call first because I'm going to be waiting for your call and I'm going to be ready to answer any questions that you have. So the group text is very important. Do not forget that. That makes sure we on our end set up enough time to allow you to build rapport and talk with the client and then expect your call within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Group text is so important. Can't stress that enough. Don't miss it. Next, we're going to talk about a couple quick setup tips. Do call the upline just as we discussed. Whoever responded, start with them. If you can't reach them, go on to the next one. Call us off speakerphone to start. We're going to ask a couple quick questions and then we will tell you when to put us on speakerphone. But there's going to be a couple confidentiality things that we want to talk about just real quick before we talk with your clients. We want to make that as quick as possible because we don't want to hide anything from the clients. We want to get them involved. After all, they're the ones that requested us to come out. They're the ones that need the help, and we want them involved in the process. It works better for everybody when all parties are involved as quickly as possible. Once we're on speakerphone, it's our goal to build a little bit of rapport and then quickly find a budget and product that's going to fit their needs. If you have previously discussed budget or face amounts with the client, bring it up to us. It's going to help speed that process along and make this more successful. Have your quoting software pulled up as well. There are going to be a lot of times where you call an upline and we may be out in the field ourselves, or we may not have a computer in front of us and are unable to pull quotes. You need to be prepared and ready to quote all the information that we're going to need for that client. And also have your application ready to go because the goal of this call is to set up a product and fine-tune a budget so that as soon as we're done, you're ready to take the application and, if necessary, do a client phone interview with the carrier. So just have that ready. It's going to speed the process up so you can get that client taken care of and go on to your next appointment. Make sure that when you do call us, any health conditions that come up, anything you've discussed that the client may have forgot to mention to us when we were talking with them, make sure you bring that up. If we ask a client about diabetes, but we forget to ask about insulin use, and you know the client's an insulin-dependent diabetic, make sure to let us know that because we don't want to put your client in the wrong product. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But when we share information as much as possible, it's going to minimize those mistakes. As you're filling out the application, don't hesitate to call us multiple times. We're still going to be waiting for any future calls after we hang up with you on the initial call. We want to be there to help you be successful. We want to help you make sure that application's right the first time so the client gets approved and gets covered right away. That's our goal, and we don't want you to miss anything. So be sure to call us should you have any questions at all while you're filling out that application, especially if it's your first month or two in the business. Some of these applications can get pretty complicated, and I still run across things I don't even understand. An insurance company may change a form, they may add a form, and there's always new updates. So make sure if you're not familiar with something, don't hesitate to call us. There are no stupid questions when it comes to applications. I also want to take this time and just discuss briefly what a phone call is going to sound like. When you call us, we're just going to ask for very basic information. We're going to verify the client's age one more time. We're going to ask what their names are, and we're going to ask maybe just a few quick health things or a few pieces of the mortgage information, like what is their payment, or how long a term did they do, or what is the total mortgage amount. That's going to be really important stuff that we need to know right away to help get this tailored to the specific client that you're sitting with. So call after you put us on speakerphone. We're going to ask your client things like, hey, how long have you lived in the home? What brought you to the area? Where do you work? We're going to just build a little bit of rapport. We may spend 60 seconds, maybe a couple minutes, just getting to know the clients, because we're strangers to them. And because we're on the phone, they don't get to see us. They don't get to see our reactions. So we want to get them comfortable with us. And we're going to do that by just asking them a few pieces of information that may not even be relevant to what we're trying to do. We may ask about kids. Again, we're going to ask about jobs. We're going to ask about what brought them to that house or how long they've lived there. We're just going to ask them a little bit of information so we are all comfortable. And then we're going to talk about budget. We're going to ask them maybe why they sent the form in or what are their biggest concerns. Now, as an agent, you've probably already gone through this. But again, we just want to get the client to be thinking about this process. So we're going to ask them why they sent the form in and why they're looking at mortgage insurance. And then we're going to ask them a few basic health questions just to get the conversation rolling again and make sure that we're all on the right path. And then once we've got all the information, we're going to talk a little bit about budget and what they budgeted for this or how big the concern is. I may ask a question like, Mr. Smith, how bad is the situation? If you're no longer here, how long can Mrs. Smith stay in the home before she's going to lose it? We're going to ask some pretty tough questions. And this is a great way for you to learn the entire process. You're going to hear us ask questions that either you may have not thought of or that may have been uncomfortable asking because you were sitting right there and you're still somewhat new at the process. Don't be alarmed at it. We're not going to put your clients on the spot, but it is our goal to pull out as much information as possible on their why. We want to know what their concerns are, and we want to get that emotion out on the table right then and there. And then we're going to talk about products and placement. We'll talk to you. We'll mention things like, okay, we think that this client's going to be perfect for Home Certainty. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they're going to get all the benefits they need from a Home Certainty product. So look at the quotes for $150,000 to cover this mortgage and maybe look at 15 years because as Mr. and Mrs. Smith just said, they may pay this mortgage off early. That's going to be some of the stuff that occurs on the phone call. And then once we've got a product selected and we get a price narrowed down, we're just going to verify that it's good with them. We may say things like, this is affordable. There's not going to be any problems. If you have your car break down, you're not going to miss your insurance payment. Or you're not going to miss a house payment because you're paying for insurance. Because the last thing we want to do is cause a foreclosure. We're here to prevent it. So we just want to talk with the client and make sure that this is 100% comfortable to them and that there's not going to be any second thoughts or anything else. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much how our phone calls are going to go. It's a pretty easy process, and it is vital to your success when you're learning. This is one of the only businesses where you can learn while you earn, and we want to be there to help you earn as much as possible right out of the gate. So we appreciate you watching this video. We want to wish you nothing but the best of luck on your appointments. And remember why you're out there. It's not just to earn money and earn a free lifestyle for your family. It's to go out and help families. When you put the families that you're in front of first, and you put the people first, you can't fail at this business. So good luck out there. Thanks for watching, and call us with any questions.